Hello everyone and welcome to Tailored Acres. I'm Taylor and I am a gardener in Wisconsin Zone 4B. And today's video is about dividing dahlias. Now, I do have a couple other videos about storage tips and everything, but a lot of people ask for more details on how to divide them. So I'm going to give you a bunch of examples on how to divide them today. I wait until my dahlias have gone through a killing frost, which they did 1 week ago. So you can wait as long as 2 weeks. And sometimes they will start to grow eyes if you wait longer, which may help you divide them, but I don't worry about that. And I'll show you examples next. Okay, hi Oliver. So this is our first tuber that we have here, and this is from Amber Queen, which is a ball type dahlia, and those tubers just seem to be a little bit more round, which I kind of find funny because the flowers are more round too. So if we look at what we have here, I did a pretty good job cleaning it off, so I just spray it. This one here, it's a little bit darker. That's going to be your mother tuber. Sometimes these rot away and fall off, but a lot of times they're still on there, and a lot of times they still have their number on it that I write in Sharpie. Let me see. Oh yeah, right here. Number 3, you can see right there. So that's helpful if your other tag falls off of your numbering system or whatever system you're using to track them. So this is what it looks like here. So to cut and divide this, so I do mine in the fall, which you can do them in the spring too, but the way I store them is the saran wrap method or plastic wrap method. So those need to be individual tubers. Last year I did store some of mine. I just dug them, didn't shake them off, put them in pots and put them in the basement, and they all survived too. I have a 60-degree basement that's pretty dry. So the point of this video, though, is to show you how to divide these, because after you do it a couple of times, it will become more obvious, but until you do, there's a couple things to watch out for. So the anatomy of the tuber, we have the tuber, the body here, we have the neck, and then we have this part here that has the eyes on it, and that's the important part that is going to help you grow next year. So I have a couple later on that I'll show you that have really obvious eyes. So here might be one. You can see that. Sorry, the cat's rubbing up on me. Oh, that's his tail. Here's maybe some more. So I don't worry about that too much. What I do here, I'll show you. So I'm going to take my clippers, if I can get them open with one hand. All right, so I only do one at a time, so I know that this is number 3. So I'm just going to cut that off because that gives me some working area here. I also usually don't save the mother tuber. So what I'm going to do is just try to break her off of this. Sometimes these will make it through winter, but most of the time not. And I'm going to try to leave as much of that neck on there. There we go. So this would not be a viable tuber anymore, and they usually don't make it through storage anyway. So this one's kind of dirty here underneath. I'm just gonna rub some of that off. Okay, so now we have a much easier structure to divide with here. So my next step is going to be to cut all of these off because they're kind of unruly. Okay, so we have all of the roots off of it now. So now we just have our bundle of tubers here. So my theory is you're just trying to get each tuber here with as much of the stem area here as you can. And I try to kind of evenly divide it. So I'm going to go here. You can see this is where my mother tuber was, and this is where my stem was. So I'm going to just cut right here like this, because I'm going to try to divide that between them all here. Okay, that's my first cut there. Then I am going to go on this side and do kind of the same cut. Okay, so now that chunk is kind of free here. So I am just going to pull this away like that. So this is 2 now on here, and these are a little bit more dirty than I would like them, but that's okay too. So now we have these 2 here, and I'm just going to split the difference between them. Okay, so that's what we're left with then. So this one has quite a bit of area. This one doesn't have quite as much, but that was like as even as I could do it. So there we go. That's our first 2. Okay, so this is what we're left with then. If you can see, this one's kind of easy pickings now. So I'm going to kind of divide the difference there and up here. Okay, so this is what this one looks like now. It's got a nice amount of area attached to it. So one thing to note though, this one's got a really squishy spot right here and it's dark. So that is probably one that is going to rot in storage. With the plastic wrap method though, I'm not really worried about it because it's going to be separated from the rest. So it could turn out okay, but even if it rots, it's not going to affect the other ones. Okay, here's the rest of it. All right, so I'm going to divide the difference between these and this one. I'm just going to put it down because it's going to fall. And then same thing here. And then we're just left with 2. And these ones are kind of going to be tough to get in there, I think. Okay. And I always flip it around just to make sure where I'm cutting. There we go. So these ones that have like no neck, a lot of times these ones go through storage a lot better because that neck can break and then it severs that connection. But this one is nice and good, but I don't have a whole lot of room for eyes. And then this one, actually, I think this one's kind of got an eye started. See that little white spot there? So these look really healthy. Besides that one spot that had a little bit of rot. So we also are looking for gall when we do this. There's crown gall, which is just like a huge growth on the side of it, or leafy gall, which is just like a ton of shoots that are close together. And Dahlia groups on Facebook are a great place to look for more information on that. And then these are the other 2 that we cut. So these 2 look really good too. So again, I'm not really worried too much about finding the eyes, and I haven't had too many issues with that. All right, we'll be on to the next example. I almost forgot. Before we move on to the next one, I am going to mark all of these with a Sharpie with my number that I have my system with. So you can write their name on them or whatever you would like. But then this ensures when they go through storage, if you get your labels mixed up, you'll always know what it is. And like I showed you, it does stay on that mother tuber through the summer as long as that mother tuber does not rot. So here's the number 3 from last year. All right, so this tuber system has a lot more going on to talk about. So it looks like I speared it when I dug it up. So both of those I'm not going to keep because they're most likely going to rot. You can try to like pack it with cinnamon or sulfur that will keep that from rotting or keep it from growing mold. But this one looks like it had something else going on up here. Anyway, I did already cut all the roots off. I don't know if I said that already. But this one, you can see it has some really nice eyes already. So this is an eye. This has got some eyes over here. So really good example of that. There's also, see, I don't see it now. But I thought I had a broken neck. Oh, this is actually one tuber. That's goofy. I don't think I've seen that happen before. Oh, here's a good one. So this neck is broken. So that's not what we're going to save either. So we're looking for anything that's damaged, diseased, or even dead. This one's mother tuber. Oh, here it is. So you can see it was massive. It usually has a really big root system on here and still has our number 4 on there. All right, so let's get to dividing this one. So I'm going to start up here and cut this off. Okay, so then these are actually like really easy to see where we need to cut them off. So I think I'm actually just gonna go, I'm gonna go this way. So I'm gonna go up here, cut this in half. Ooh, got stuck. And then I'm gonna cut in half here, like that. All right, so that one's off. So this one is a really nice one. We have a lot of eyes on here already that I can even see. No, that's not easy to cut. All right, so you can see there's an eye there and some down here. But again, I wasn't really worried about that. This one kind of lost some skin there, but everything else looks really good on this one. All right, so our next one here, we're gonna cut and try to get this here around there. I don't want to cut any of the other ones though. It gets a little tricky, as you all know, I'm sure. Not quite all the way through. And you can use a knife to do this too. There we go. So this is another really nice looking one here. And this one you probably could remove some more of the stem here. Actually, I think I will. There. Well, find that later. Just like that. All right. So now we get a little bit more tricky here. And again, I think I'm going to remove the mother tuber here because that will give me some more space to work with. So let's see if I can do it here. There. So this one looks like it was already starting to rot. So all right, so now we've got a much more manageable, because we got a hole on the bottom and on the top. So I can kind of cut this one in half at this point. See here. So I'm going to cut here. That's kind of going to just come apart naturally there. That one's going to be a loss anyway, so we'll just pull it. So now we got a little clump here. And these just really tie themselves in knots. So this is the one that I'm not going to keep. So I'm actually going to like either break this off here or cut it so that I have more room on that stem to save, because the other tubers might be able to take over those eyes there. All right, so I'm going to cut here to split the difference between these two. And I kind of cut right through an eye, which is unfortunate, but it's just the way it is sometimes. So we got these two here now, and both of them look good. So we're just going to split the difference. Okay, so there we go. And this one might, I don't know, this one might not be the best one, but we'll give her a try anyway. Okay, then we have this here. This one had the broken neck, so just want to remove that one. All right, and then this one was the one that we took off as well, so I'm just going to cut here. And that doesn't really connect anymore over there. We're just going to go like that. So there we go. So this one has a really nice eye here, and then this one was the one that we kind of cut through, but we only need one for it to be viable. All right, and then we still have this whole thing to go. Some of these just make a crazy amount of tubers. So, let me see here. So this one is kind of messed up. And sometimes you get these like little weird side shoots. Some of these I've kept before, but since I have so many on this one, I'm not going to worry about either one of these. All right, so we got kind of a mess left here. They're all kind of tangled up. So actually what I'm going to do is rinse this out because I can't see what's going on. Okay, so I got that rinsed out, which helps to see a lot more. So I'm going to kind of focus on the ones that look the nicest first from here. So this one looks really nice. I can see an eye right here already. So I am just going to make sure I get a big chunk of that. Okay, that one is free. So that one had a nice eye on it right there. That one looks really good. Okay, so, well, that one kind of got messed up. Oh wait, that one's broken neck anyway. So I'm going to just snap that one off of there. Okay. I flip these around a lot because like you gotta look at the whole puzzle. So next one I'm going to take is this one here. This side is kind of loose already, so I'm just going to pull that. Ooh. All right, so we got this guy. So this one also had some nice looking eyes on it. All right. We got this one here. All right, I'm going to cut the back here, if you can see that, to kind of divide the difference between these that are remaining because they're kind of tangled together. All right. So first we got this one. This is probably the best view. Dirt here, but I'm just going to cut this one in two evenly. All right. And then we got three left. So this one actually probably I can just lift off. That one looks good. All right. And the last one here, so we're just going to split the difference right here. There we go. So some of these that end up like this, I'll leave, but if I wiggle it and it's loose, it's probably not gonna do too much for it. So I'm just gonna take that off. So yeah, that was our second dahlia. Okay, we're on tuber number 3. So this one's pretty standard, and we haven't run into one yet that has just underdeveloped tubers. So these ones that are like really tiny, I'm not gonna keep those. They might make it through, but they'll be pretty weak. So I'm not worried about keeping those, so I'm just gonna remove those right away. And this one I see is a broken neck. Get him out of there. Okay, so I think I have another broken neck over here. Yep, you can see how floppy that is. Okay, so now I'm going to take off the stem. All right, and then I'm also going to remove the mother tuber, which is quite obvious on this one. I'm just going to try to twist it. Okay, so we're left with a few that are viable here. And some of these roots, like, even though they don't look like they're tough, they're super hard to, like, you can't just break them off, which is annoying. All right, then I'm going to trim up all the other ones here. And these are my favorite pruners. I will put a link in the description. They make everything so easy. Okay, so we're fairly cleaned up now. Okay, so I'm looking at here. What are my cuts going to be? So I think I'm going to cut it in half here. You can see there's kind of gap right there. All right, we're in half. So from here, looks like both of these kind of go into the same spot. So I'm just going to kind of split the difference here. All right. And same thing with this one. It had, actually I'm going to take some of this off. This is where the mother tuber was. And then I'm just going to split this one right here. So each section has its own little eyes here. You can see this one has some really nice eyes already. Can't always see those as well. So far today, they've been pretty easy to see. All right. So this one, we got a crissy-crossy, which are probably the hardest to divide. All right, so I'm gonna cut in the bottom here. This big one has its own little area there. All right, then I'm gonna see what we got going on here. Okay, I'm gonna cut this one here off. So that one's got some nice area on it. And then I cut this one right here. There we go. All right. All right, so this next one had quite a bit of damage when I removed it, unfortunately. This is one of my favorite ones, and I'm hoping to plant multiple in my landscaping next year because it is a prolific bloomer. But this one actually, I think we're good because I see some eyes, eyes on here still. So luckily this one broke at a nice place. And then this one, luckily, the stem separated from the mother tuber here. So I am just gonna clip this the rest of the way here. And that's it for that one. So just 2. And luckily I had a couple more of these planted out in the landscaping. So will have more than 2 tubers, but these tubers both look really nice. But yeah, I've never had one produce such a little amount of tubers before. Next we have Penn Hill Watermelon, which is one of my absolute favorite dahlias. Huge blooms. So this one made a very odd shape clump as well. Whoops. So just real goofy. So we'll start with this one. I'm just gonna cut it up here because it's got 2 tubers coming up out of this, and even though these are really small, I'm gonna save them anyway because there aren't a whole lot on here. I do have a couple more planted out in the landscaping, so sorry, reorganize here. All right, so to get these off, I'm just gonna cut this up here. Oh my gosh, this stuff is so hard. All right, here we go. And then I'm gonna, actually I think I'm gonna cut it this way first. Just because it's so hard, I don't wanna have a mishap on the other way. Make it a little smaller first. All right, and then we're just gonna split the difference down with these 2. And although these tubers are really small, they have a really nice shape and everything, so I have some confidence they will make a plant for us here. All right, so 2 of those. And then we're back onto this massive beast. So I am going to break off the mother tuber first with just my hands here. Let's see how that works. This is a massive one. There we go. Okay, then I'm going to cut the stem down closer. All right, then okay, I definitely want to keep this one here, so I'm going to cut these off. And then I'm going to cut here. Okay. And then I'm going to cut here. Whoop, there she goes. All right, so that one looks really good. I like that one. All right. Next one probably is this one here. So I'm going to cut here. And then I think I'm going to take this one with it for now. There we go. All right, then I'm just going to cut this in half. Actually, I can probably just break it. That is really stuck together there. There we go. All right, so this one's got a lot of good ones. This one as well. Gotta trim this off. Okay, almost done with this one. So many little roots going off of these. There we go. Okay. Oh man. See, this one's got a big nick out of it, so I'm going to actually cut that one off down here so we don't worry about him. Always forget to check for that first. Okay. So next I'm going to cut here. And these are really small. Okay, first I'm going to do this one because this is a really, really nice one. And then these two, I don't know. They're very small. I think I'm just going to cut them off and leave the rest of the big one. I'm actually going to cut some of this off here. That's a lot of stem. Okay. All right, so that's our last one for this variety. Okay, so this is an interesting example. This one I had dug up, and it was one of the ones that I stored in my basement as is. So this one actually has a lot of old mother tubers. This was probably the original one. And then I think this one, this one, this one, this one are from last year. And then I think these lighter colored ones here, these ones, these ones, these ones, there's this one too, are from this year. So I'm going to cut off the old ones first because they are old. So not going to keep them. Actually, I'm just going to like cut this. When I flip it around a bunch like that, I'm just making sure that my cuts are where I actually want them to be. Okay, these are tiny. I don't think those are probably going to be worth keeping. And I got some nicer ones in here. Okay, that was an old one. Oh, that one must have been one that popped off. Okay, let's see what we got here for new ones. So I'm just going to go in here and split this. When you have a lot of tubers, sometimes you can just split it right down the middle. It'll be a lot easier, even if you sacrifice a couple. You still usually end up with plenty. Okay, so then got some eyes on here and everything already. So we're just gonna split this one here. And this one is a cafe au lait. Had some struggles with this variety in the past here, but hopefully this one worked, or like was beautiful this year. Made whole flowers for once, so otherwise it was going to be one of the varieties that I wasn't going to carry forward for next year. And it does seem like when I get a new variety, it needs a few years to like develop to our conditions here. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not good at growing dahlias yet. This one does have a bit of a broken neck, but I think I'm going to save it just in case. So 4 from that, so that will be fine. Okay, so we are on to, I can't remember what number 12 is. So this one, we have the mother tuber here. It's got all kinds of stuff growing out here. I'm just going to cut that off, because those are not viable tubers. Those are just big roots. All right. So I'm going to just take this guy off. There we go. And I felt a really loose, oh yeah. This guy's got a broken neck down here. So I'm going to cut him off. This one has got like a tuber growing out of its tuber. All right, and then I am going to cut off the stem here. Okay. Let me see here. We've got, that one's got a broken neck too, japers. These ones are very fragile apparently. Okay, I'm gonna make a cut here. This is like the limit of my snippers here. Maybe I'm gonna do, let's get this guy first. we go. So this one's got some danglies. I'm just going to cut those right off. So there we go. This isn't needed either. Okay, got something weird going on here. Clean up some of these. Okay, so I got that one taken off. Let's see here. Let's see if I cut here. And then cut here. So we cut it in half, maybe. There we go. Japers. It was a very thick one. So here we go in half. All right, so we're in half here, and these ones are really close together. So we're just going to try our best to kind of divide equally here. So there's one. What that is there? That looks good. I should probably check for, make sure that none of these are damaged. Those all look good. This one's got something down there, but that might be okay still. This one's got a little bit of a weird spot, but I think they all look okay. Some of these are real skinny. Oh, that one's got a broken neck there. Okay. So I'm going to cut this one here. These two are real goofy. I'm not going to keep those. All right. And then, that one's hard to hold. Actually, I think I can just pull it apart maybe. All right. This one ended up with more of the stuff. I should have just cut it. Lesson learned. All right. This neck is a little soft, but it will be okay, I think. All right. This one here, you can see the eye there. All right. This guy is just way too skinny and it's like cramped in there, so I'm just gonna take him out. All right. This one doesn't have much in the way of opportunities for eyes here. There's a little bit, so I'll probably still keep it because some of these will surprise you. Let's get some of this cleaned up a little bit more. Right. And then let's get this one cut there. Cut this down a little bit. There we go. This one's got quite the growth on the side there. All right, this one is kind of dirty and it's got those other ones there. Really want to get those off. There we go, we have a little bit there. All right, another one done. Okay, this is the last one I'm going to do for you because I'm running out of space on my device here. So this one is going to be a hard one because it's really tight. You can see there's lots of overlap. So wanted to go through this one with you guys because it's going to be a little bit more tough. So first thing I'm going to do is take off this first top part here because there's like two growing out of it, but there's one that's like it's like a peanut. So I'm just going to wiggle that out there. Okay, so then we're just going to basically cut this in half. There we go. Cut this down a little bit more. Because usually the eyes are kind of isolated on here. They don't go too far up the stem. Right. So then we've got a mess here. So this one is not going to be viable. Take that one out. These two as well. I'm just going to get out of here. You can see there was some dirt left over because these are in here so tight. Get some of that out of there. Okay. I don't even see the mother tuber on here. This one might have rotted away. Or maybe it's this guy here. I don't see a number on him. Okay. So this is going to be one, whoops, that I think I'm going to have to just cut in half here. So just go for it. Okay. Should make things a little bit easier here. Okay, we got a couple nicer ones over here. I'm just going to take these two together here. Should cut a little bit more. Actually, that one just wants to come along too. So this is one of those that is just like really stumpy. It's probably not going to have an eye on it. So I'm just going to wiggle him out of that situation there. All right, so then we've got two on this one. So this one's really interesting too. Okay, just going to cut right here. So we got two there. Okay, more dirt. Clean my house after this. I usually bring them inside to divide them so that we're not freezing, because you can see I have quite a few. All right, so I gotta rinse this guy off so I can see. Okay, so got some twisties in here. This one is just goofy, so I'm gonna just get rid of him here. And he is now on the floor. Oh yeah, this was the mother tuber. You can see my number there. Okay, cut that one off. Cut this guy. And that one out of there. This one's got a lot of weird stuff going on here. So I'm just going to cut here, because we don't want too much stuff left on that's going to trap moisture and stuff in here. So there we go. This one was the mother here. You cannot tell what number that is. Hopefully it's 13. Right. Yeah, that one don't look like it's got much chance. And we got plenty from this one. And I think I have another one somewhere in this one too. Okay. There we go. I wonder if this one will. Okay, I'm going to cut right here. Okay, we're going to take some of this off here. Go. That one is, I think it has a chance. last one. I do have one more tuber I'm going to show you the first part of because it is a little bit special. Okay, so this one is huge. This one is fabulous, which is actually one of my favorite ones. But you can see there's two different stalks. So usually when that happens, you can separate these. These are so woven together though. You can see the mother tubers right there. I don't actually think this is going to work. They're too intertwined. But it's worth a try because this one is going to be really hard to get some tubers off of. I'll probably start on the bottom here. Looks like that will be my best bet. All right, but that's it for today. I doubt many of you made it this far, but if you did, good luck with your tubers and take care.